Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with Dorell today. Deanna is an intuitive love coach who helps women feel cherished and adored in their love life. And today we're going to be talking about how to feel confident from the inside out when you're dating so you can attract that man and relationship you want. So welcome, Deanna. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm already having a lot of fun. We haven't even started.
I've been really excited for this topic. I've actually been getting a lot of requests I see it in the comment sections of some of my videos. Can you do a video on how to create core confidence within yourself? So this is actually just coming at the perfect time. So before we get started, what is it that led you to want to do this work and work with women in their love life?
Yeah, so it's the one area of my life that felt like people were always coming up to me since I was a little girl, just like asking me advice. And I always thought like, why me? Like that's the area of my life that I like always felt like I needed help in. And I realize now looking back that we really go through certain challenges and experiences so that we can eventually impart that wisdom to other people. So I feel like the path found me.
I love that. I totally feel the same way. I had that experience as well. So, okay, let's just jump right in then. What would you say to a woman who's maybe a client coming to you who isn't really feeling so confident in herself? Maybe she's been out of the dating scene for a while. Maybe she just got divorced or is going through a breakup and she's not feeling confident in herself. Like, what's the first thing you would have her do?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to give 4 tips today. But the first thing I would say for everybody, especially if you're new and like back out in the scene, is to close your eyes and just pay attention to like what makes you feel beautiful. And it sounds so like woo woo, but like I literally have my clients put your hand over your heart and like before the date, before you got the door, before you even pick the outfit, just take a couple deep breaths and just like feel your body, because part of having an amazing date and being attractive and irresistible to a man is being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable in your body, being sensual. And if you're not comfortable and you're up in your head trying to think of what to say, he's going to pick up on that. And so that's the first thing I would say is just breathe, like take in the space around you, and then go to the next tip I'm about to share. So
I love that. And I'm just imagining doing that myself. And yeah, I always say that confidence is like the universal attractant, meaning everybody finds confidence sexy, right? And a huge part of that is being comfortable in your own skin. And that can be hard for so many of us. I mean, we all have things that we feel insecure about sometimes, right? So what would you say to a woman who has maybe like body image issues? I mean, which we all do, right? I mean, do you have anything you'd like to say about that? I'd love to hear it.
yes. So often when we are like self-conscious about our body, you know, I did this a lot, is you pick like clothing that kind of hides you, right? We subconsciously pick like, you know, really baggy clothes that, you know, emphasizes our face or something else. And it's like, no, as women, we're all goddesses. We're all beautiful. There's always something we can accentuate. And if you can, you know, get your best girlfriend over and just like have her go through your closet and say, what makes you feel beautiful in here? And just trying on different things that really show off your body, but aren't necessarily revealing or overly sexual, because it's not about that either. It's about subtlety and it's about feeling like that goddess. And sometimes it is just like that necklace or like that one like cut that just kind of boosts you. And I really believe that it's kind of this dance between the inner confidence from how you're feeling about yourself, but then also the inner confidence that comes from what you're wearing and how you look. Like it's both. Let's be real.
Yeah, you can change how you're feeling on the inside by what you're doing on the outside. I've certainly found that to be true. Okay, that's fantastic. So that's the first tip. And what's the second one?
Second one is to imagine, this is actually one of my favorite ones. Actually, maybe I'll save that one for the last. You have to watch the whole video, guys, to get the last one. Let go of perfect, right? If you blunder, if you feel nervous, there's something really, really powerful in just saying, you know what? I'm actually really nervous right now. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's been a while since I've been out there. Like that level of transparency puts people at ease, puts the man at ease. You might even have a good laugh about it, right? And I think so often we try to keep it together and like present our best self when really authenticity wins every single time. So
So true. I'm so glad you said that. I had no idea what these tips were going to be. So we're kind of just going off the top of our heads, but that is amazing. And for those of you watching, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know, I'm all about vulnerability, authenticity. It's not about being perfect. In fact, if you're like trying to come across as perfect, it's going to, but you're feeling nervous on the inside, there's like this disconnect there, right? And a man can feel that incongruence in our vibe. And I think that that causes men to not trust us on a deep level if we're feeling something strongly on the inside, but we're not expressing it on the outside, right?
absolutely. And also remembering that they also may feel nervous too. So we mirror each other without realizing it, like you said. And so, relax, breathe. My next tip is to let go perfect and then wear something that makes you feel beautiful and fits you well. And now, the juicy tip. You guys ready?
Absolutely. Yes. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this you can use for anything. You can use for dating, you can use for business, anything where you feel uncomfortable and like out of your element. You imagine that you are going for a friend. So, what I mean by that is imagine that you're going to vet out this date, right? Like it changes your perspective. It helps you relax. It helps you ask powerful questions that maybe you wouldn't because you're like in your head thinking, what is he thinking about my outfit? Does he think I'm sexy? Is he thinking about other women? Instead, you're just relaxed and imagining, wow, like I'm actually going to see what kind of guy this is for my friend Stacy. Right? And all of a sudden, like your whole like physiological response relaxes, your heart opens, and it's like you're talking to a friend. And there's something really, really powerful about that catches men off guard, I think, on a first date, but also really draws them in. I've used this so many times with clients, and they're like, I got a second date and I didn't even like really say anything. It was just my presence and how I was so relaxed.
That is so interesting. I've literally never heard anyone say that before, but I like that. I'm trying to like imagine it. Yeah, I can see where on one hand, if you're just like, oh my gosh, am I good enough for him? Am I pretty enough? Does he like me? You're up in your head, right? You're in your masculine energy. You're cut off from your juicy feminine magnetism versus like switching this perception around a little bit and going, like, is this guy good enough for me? Not, am I good enough for him? Which causes us to put a man on a pedestal and want to prove ourselves to him, right?
Yes, and that filter of imagining that it's a friend takes the pressure off. Takes the
Yeah,
pressure off both of you.
that's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I really, I always say with dates, and regardless of whether you've been dating a long time and maybe haven't had success, or maybe you're just, recently out of a breakup and starting to date again, it's like remembering that there's always something that you can gain from a date, right? And there's something that you can give. It's like it's a divine meeting, and whether or not it ends in a second date or just like a good laugh, like wow, I'm never gonna like date that kind of person again, like you learn something about yourself. And if you can go in with that mentality, like they're gonna be like my kind of dating teacher for the next 90 minutes, let's see what I learned about myself, then again, the pressure's off, you can have a good time, and you would probably ask questions that you wouldn't if you were all caught up in your head and, like you said, you're masculine. Just allowing yourself to receive and kind of go with the flow.
I really love that. I like to think of it as like, what message does this man have for me, right? It's a very kind of like feminine energy way of going about things, process oriented rather than results oriented. Like, is this the one? I've been on dates with 20 different guys this month and they all were terrible. So is this the one? Which leads to burnout, right? But I love this. Like, what message does he have? Just like you said, even if the message was, well, he was waving red flags and now I know that this is something I don't want in a relationship partner, right?
Yes. And, just speaking to that, I think oftentimes as women, we beat ourselves up if, you know, you are in that situation where you're dating a lot, you're putting yourself on the line every day, and you get kind of the same guy with a different face, and you think like, what am I doing wrong? Like the whole law of attraction, like why am I attracting this? And I think sometimes we forget that those men come into your space because they show you how far you've come, right? It's like, oh, this is in my space so that I can notice all the work that I did on myself, so that I don't accept that kind of behavior ever again. Like, isn't that cool? That's like my little like validation from the universe, instead of beating yourself up and freaking out that you're just going to have another bad date. So I really believe that we are in charge of our own energy, and that you can always choose to gain something positive or go into like your head and go to the negative place.
I love that. Yeah, this is really cool because this is stuff I like haven't heard it put that way before. I always tell women to look for the positive aspects in the interaction, even if it was just, you know, he opened the door for me, he paid for my coffee. Yes, he might not be the one, but focusing on those positive aspects, it's like you take that with you into the next date rather than getting stuck in this mentality of like, oh my gosh, another disaster date, right? Or you know, yeah, I've had clients say like, well, he just talked the whole time. But then the positive spin on that was, you know what, I was at work talking all day, and I just got to sit there and enjoy my free dinner while he did most of the talking. And yeah, I probably won't go out with him again, but I had a nice time. You know, looking for those positive aspects can build your confidence too, right?
Absolutely. I love that you just brought that up, because so often it'll happen, right? There'll be this little thing and we can just fixate on it throughout the rest of the day and just even kind of tune out what they're saying. And it's like, huh, what if I just like accepted, right? That this is like my environment right now. And like, how can I make the best of it?
Yeah, it just kind of like lightens the whole thing up. It's like a pressure valve getting released off the situation. I love that. And then, so your last tip, which is your favorite, right?
Oh, so that was the imagine that you're going for a friend.
Imagine that you're going for a friend. That's right. That's right. I love that. I love that. So let's recap everything, because I want to make sure this is all really clear for everyone. This is all really powerful information.
Okay, so the first one is before the date. So relax, breathe, put your hand on your heart, and just like feel your body, get into your body, get grounded. The second is to pick out something to wear that makes you feel beautiful and that fits well. You want to show off the attributes that you love about yourself. Again, highlighting the positive, and get a friend to help you if this is like an issue for you, right? And then the third one is to let go of perfect. No one's perfect. If you blunder, if you feel nervous, there's nothing wrong with saying so, and just inviting that level of authenticity into the connection, into the conversation. And then the final tip is to imagine that you're going for a friend and change your perspective to one that's always looking for what you're going to gain and from the situation and what you're going to give, and really expecting to learn something and to get some knowledge from the experience without beating yourself up or holding, right, that other person to be your everything. It's just an experience.
I love that. And I can see how this would shift you into your feminine energy, which is what I talk so much about. As most people know who watch my videos, I can see how this would get you out of this place where, am I good enough? Is this the one? This results oriented place, you know, into this like, wow, it's kind of magical. This guy showed up. Why did he show up? Let's see what happens here. I could just see how that would make you super attractive, you know, especially if he's a masculine energy man. No, one of the top complaints I hear from women that hurts their confidence is when a man, let's say, disappears, or they thought things were going well, he was pursuing her, coming on strong, and then he backs off and pulls away, even if she didn't like the guy. I just heard from a client this morning. She's like, I didn't even want to go out with him again, but the fact that he didn't, you know, the fact that he didn't contact me, or the fact that he unmatched me on the dating app bothered me, even though I knew he wasn't the right match. Do you have any tips for women who are in that situation where maybe a man has disappeared or broken up with them, and they're having confidence problems as a result of that?
Yeah, so I'll give like a super practical and then like a super woo, because that's just how I roll. So the practical is, you know, realize that, you know, they are not responsible for your happiness, right? Like, that's kind of, you know that you're in your ego if you're letting it go there, and it's okay. Like, forgive yourself, have compassion. It does hurt. Let yourself feel the hurt. It's so easy to like skip to like love and light and like I forgive them and it's fine when we're feeling really angry and hurt. So I think there's a place for hurt, and there's a place to kind of have your own pity party. I think that's really important and something you shouldn't skip over. And then the kind of more spiritual tip that I can give you is, you know, anytime that we feel rejected, I always say rejection is like your higher self's protection. So there's, you know, the less men that are in your space that are not like honoring you in any way, communication wise, sexually, like emotionally, the more space you create for that perfect partner to come in.
I totally agree. I always say there is really no such thing as rejection. There's only a wrong fit. Like if a guy doesn't want to be with you or he disappears for whatever reason, he just can't possibly be the right guy for you, right? He's just creating space for a better man to step in who will never disappear. The right man for you will never disappear, right? I love that. I love what you said there.
Yeah, I always say to my clients, like, really, no matter how badly you think you can like F it up, like if he's really supposed to be in your space, you can't really F it up. Like, you know, you're going to have to go through that experience, like it or not. So you might as well enjoy the ride and just relax.
Absolutely. Plus, at the top of your list of what you're looking for in a man is someone who wants to be with you as much as you want to be with him, right? A man who's consistently coming towards you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And I think that the confidence has to come from within us to know that we deserve that. Right? Like we can say it on our list, we can like tell it to our girlfriends, but at the end of the day, are you embodying that you deserve to be treated that way? Are you treating yourself that way? Are you keeping your own commitments? Right? It always goes back to us.
I love that. It's so, so powerful. This was great. Deanna, do you have any, like, I'd love to hear any kind of like last tips or words of wisdom or tools for building that confidence from the inside out?
Yeah, you know, one that just came to mind right now is to remember all the times where you just like kicked butt, right? And it doesn't even have to be in love. It's like maybe you just, you know, blew people away at that meeting, or you just said the right thing to a friend when she needed you. And making a list and referring to that list in those moments of feeling insecure, of feeling down. I have my clients create a feel good folder in their inbox, and it's like anytime like you receive a compliment or you know there's something that you're proud of, it goes into that, and you look at it. So it's a discipline, and confidence comes from remembering that who you are like is enough. There's nothing you need to do, say, change about your appearance in order to feel worthy of a relationship and a quality relationship. But it starts with how you're treating yourself. And that is totally in our control. It's the beautiful part. So you can start right now.
I love that. Oh my gosh, the feel good folder. Amazing. I'm totally going to do that myself because even like the work we do, it can be hard, right? We're like open to all kinds of attacks on our appearance and what we're saying and, you know, intelligence, all kinds of things is not for the faint of heart. And I liken it to dating too, especially these days where everyone just has so many options. I can imagine how it almost feels like a battlefield or something, but doesn't have to feel that way is what I hear you saying. If you have your confidence coming from the inside, it's like you're unshakable, right? It's whatever a man is doing or not doing is not going to affect the way you feel about yourself. Right? Do I have that right?
Exactly. Yeah. You can be this unstoppable goddess, and you can be confident and very feminine. That's something that gets confused a lot. Is like if I'm too confident, that's going to push him away. And like there's a difference between confidence and aggression, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Or confidence and like cockiness.
Yeah, even
Right?
better.
Where it's almost like, you know, people who are like super boastful or cocky, people are afraid to be too confident because they don't want to come across that way. But being overly boastful, it's like a sign of a lack of confidence. This real confidence you're talking about, I imagine being more quiet and calm you don't have to constantly call attention to yourself because you feel confident on the inside, right? You're not looking for that validation outside of yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like that self acceptance at the end of the day. And I will say, if you're feeling shaky in any way, then stay off social media for that day, right? Like, we all have been down the rabbit hole of having a weird day, and it's like, oh my God, everybody's life is perfect, and you're seeing the best moments, the highlights. It's designed that way.
Mm-hmm.
So take some time and do some self-care, take a bubble bath, go for a walk, whatever makes you feel good about yourself and back in your body. I mean, I definitely do something like that every day, because the world can weigh down on you. And dating, sometimes is challenging. It brings up our triggers, but it's just a journey, and you have everything you need inside of you. So keep going.
I love that. I love everything you said. And that brings us to your free gift, which goes right along with this topic. Oh, and by the way, for everybody watching, please type in what makes you feel confident. Let us know your experiences with this, or any questions you have, any tips that you have that make you feel confident when you're feeling maybe not so good about yourself on a particular day. We love, love, love hearing from you. So Deanna, let's hear about your free gift that you have for everybody.
Absolutely. So I have an awesome guide. It's called 7 Goddess Secrets to Up Your Confidence Now. And they're super easy, because I know how busy you are. And it's basically the secret. And then I give you an affirmation that you can say, program into your iPhone, and listen while you're taking a shower, and just start to reprogram yourself for unshakable confidence and self-love.
That sounds amazing. So I'm going to post a link to that in the description right below this video. So check that out. I'm going to check it out myself, because it sounds amazing. It sounds like just let it do the work for you kind of thing, right? I feel like there's like a lot of synergy between what you do and the whole feminine energy thing. So thank you so much. This was really fun. And again, for everyone watching, let us know if you have requests for more videos. I'm sure everyone's going to want to see more of you, Deanna. So thank you so much again for joining me today, and I will talk with you soon, hopefully.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.